We're going to go with it. This is going to be more of an introduction video. I'm going to share a couple fun facts just in case you were wondering. If you want to know what my name is, whatever it is below this video, that's whatever we're going with this month. This is August 2026. And I would really like to share with you the books that I will be reading in August of 2026. And also, I would like to share some thoughts. And again, like I said at the beginning, a little bit of an introduction if this is your first time finding a video. A lot of my friends tell me that I'm funny. I guess we'll see if that's maybe more like a real life, in-person type experience, if that's communicated properly through me staring into this circle on my phone. And so just to share a little bit about me, I have this written down so that I don't forget, because a lot of this, I've been telling people this stuff for whatever reason, they don't believe me. So let's talk about it. This is just a few. So let's just talk about it. It says, I'm a time traveler, a magician, a genius, a scientist, an artist, a quadruple athlete, whatever sport there is, I can play it. I can play any sport. I'm a technician, I'm a student, I'm a daughter. This is where I got a little bit sentimental. I was like, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a cousin. And then I started to talk about how that list can keep going, because there are a lot of hats that I wear. So wanted to share that with you. And then let me just share a couple of background stories on me growing up. And then we'll talk more about the books that we are going to read for the month of August. Growing up, and maybe this doesn't matter, maybe it does. Growing up, I was in the gifted and talented program. And I believe that I learned how money works too early. I believe that I learned how banks work too early. I should have never figured that out as a kid, because it's like now I'm stuck between this place of, I'm not anti-capitalist by no means, but it's like I'm corrupt capitalist. So people that are corrupt in their capitalist behavior, I am anti that. However, I'm also like, go get that bag, right? So the balance of trying to hold that up for me was exposed to me when I was very young, seeing how when I got the task, me and my partner at the time, my partner in class at the time got the task of, and I keep sharing this story because I hope that in sharing this story, maybe it'll resonate with everyone on a global scale, because I think if we really consider what I'm saying, I'm just talking about from the outside looking in. If you consider this, what I'm about to say, and it's not that it's true or false or anything like that, it's just a interesting way for a young melanated woman, black woman, to discover this, a young girl really to discover this in this way. So boom, I'm in class with my classmate. We're given the task of starting a business week, and my partner and I decided that we were going to be the bank. So early on, one of the first lessons that I really learned is that banks have the unmitigated power to just create money. No one can tell a bank that they cannot, because who are you to tell the bank that they don't have the money that they have? How do you know? Nobody knows. And so learning that early exposed me to the idea of when PJ, my partner at the time, my classmate, when we wanted something from the other classmates that were having businesses, maybe this one had a real estate business, maybe this one had a car dealership, maybe this one actually had physical goods. What I learned, I can't speak for him. What I learned is that if I wanted some of that stuff, I could just go print that money. Nobody would ask me questions. That's what I learned at a very young age. Yes, I'm gifted and talented too. I think I said that at the beginning. You might not have heard me say that. But it makes me think of how right now our system is it's just a weird system, because it's like we all collectively know that on the surface, let's talk about it. On the surface, none of this really means anything without peace. It doesn't mean anything if you have unlimited credit cards, or if you have a whole bunch of money, or if you have a whole bunch of cars, or if you have a whole bunch of food around you. mukbangs, whatever. None of this means anything if you don't have peace and love. So right now, it's like, even though there's an abundance of people that have the material things, which we do love. We do love the material demonstration. We're at 5 minutes. We do love that. We have a shortage of people who center themselves in the currency of love. The currency of love is always abundant, and it never runs out. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't keep score. The currency of love, actually, it shines through you, right? So let's talk about it. The other thing I was going to talk about is how I believe that being a Girl Scout as a young girl, it tremendously enhanced my networking skills. I should have been, why are we networking and we're 13 years old? We're keeping up with inventory. We're running a business. That was running a business. We were running a business for keychains. We were getting paid in keychains and journals, Lisa Frank journals. Should have been illegal, but the system is still the same. When I think about, I was having a conversation yesterday where I was like, sharecroppers, which is a term that they typically use to describe Black people back in the 1900s or early 1900s, is they were sharecroppers. That sounds a lot like having shares in a company. Yes, I have more questions. I don't want this video to be more than 8 minutes. Girl Scouts was really, it's trained us how to be powerful networkers at a very young age. We could talk to anybody. We could alert ourselves. We could be in dangerous situations, know how to get ourselves out of them. Taught a lot of leadership skills in Girl Scouts. Before we are at, because we're obviously going to go over 8 minutes because I like to chat about life. I'm going to go no, I have the book right here. It's fine. So let's begin with the basics. We're going to talk about Think and Grow Rich. We can keep this 8-minute timer. We're going to go over Think and Grow Rich. And this is a book, if you can't tell this, I definitely have read this book several times. I don't just look at it and keep it on a shelf or something like that. So we're going to start wherever this sticker is telling us to start, page 25. That's where we're going to start. Technically 24 because there's some writing on here. That's one of the books. We'll also be listening. You see I'm speeding up so that we can keep that. We got 20 seconds. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. All right. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins and The Daily Stoic. So those are the three. And I'll chat with you later. Watch another video after this one. Go to my next one. I'll see you.